What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Outside Line Media, and today we are talking about an actually pretty good Iowa race.
I like this. Yeah, I want to say I was right. Iowa produced good racing.
I think race 2 was a lot better than race 1.
I think I enjoyed both races thoroughly. Race two a lot less for me personally, but for different reasons that we'll get
Yeah.
into.
I think race
Um,
1, I think race 2, the cautions were a lot more kind of congested, so it allowed them to keep that high line clear for longer compared to race 1, where inevitably that high line still gummed up and it just turned into a single
yeah, because there
file
was
race.
almost a 90 lap or 80 lap, sorry, green flag run.
It was basically stage racing for IndyCar.
Yeah,
It
but
was a it was a stint, stint, flag, stint.
yeah, race one, going into it, I was devastated. Scott McLaughlin crashed in qualifying. Um, my God, felt bad for the guy. But that led to my personal favorite part of race one, which was Scott McLaughlin versus the goddamn world. He drove circles around everybody, driving from 27th to 4th. Um, and if he had qualified top 15, he wins that race. He had the
Yeah.
fastest car on the track. It's a shame he didn't get the win, but happy to see it finally. A third winner. Oh wait, no, no, that happened in Mid Ohio. A fourth winner this year
And
with
not
Pato
a
Award,
Honda.
and not a Honda. First non-Honda win. Pato Award gets Arrow McLaren their first win of the year.
And that's
On
got to
his
be
100.
my moment of the race. Him versus Joseph Newgarden, just
Yes.
slowly chipping away lap after lap. And then beat Joseph by a second on his in lap to take the lead in the pits. And then
Yeah.
defended like his life depended on it on the outlap.
Yeah. Great finish. So just overall great race, like we said. Top five ended up being a Pato Award, Joseph Newgarden, who was gutted from losing the race. That was his all along, but no one to blame except himself. Bad in lap.
Yeah, it was looking
Um,
like his crew had a little bit of a fumble, but ultimately looking at the data, same stop time as Pato, same outlap as Pato, but Pato just pulled out a second on that in lap. So he just had a
yeah,
monster in lap.
but still got a feel for Joseph. Led 232 laps and
Makes it him
finished.
the driver to lead the most laps at a single track, which is
Yeah.
over 2,000 laps led at Iowa.
The crazy stat is always he has more than everyone else combined, and he's clearly pulling gap.
Yeah.
I think we did the math. It takes something like 4 years of someone leading damn near every lap for
2 years
them to.
of it's still double headers, 4 years, 4 races, over 4 races.
Wild. Yeah, Pato Award gets it done. Will Power got third, Scott McLaughlin fourth, and Alex Palou fifth. This race had 5 cautions. Um,
Caution
for
right at the
just
beginning of the race for Colton.
yeah, Colton spun through the grass, went on a little excursion, which definitely led to Andretti just had woes, which we'll get into
Oh,
here in a second.
yeah.
After that, ran green for a while until lap 74 when Jacob Abel smacked the wall, ending his day. Tough to see that. That car was just a shit box.
Then we
My God, that car.
had, what, 80 laps of green?
Yeah, a little under that, about 70, 69 laps under green. Don't quote that math. I think that's right. Yeah, that's right. Until who was it? Kyle Kirkwood hit the wall. The first of Andretti's tire issues showing up. Their front right was de-beating. Is that the right word? It was coming off the rim. It was
I think his was a straight blowout. I think you could see, like,
yeah,
the
yeah. I know.
cords on the inside.
Yeah, tire blowout making him hit the wall. We then had another about 60, 70 lap run until Nolan Siegel hit the wall in turn 4. Which glad he was okay, but it did lead to him missing race 2 and leads to an interesting predicament for Toronto, which we will get into once we get to Toronto. And then finally at
And
lap
that brought out the
260.
red flag so that we could end the race
Yes.
under green due to wall repairs.
Yeah, but unfortunately we could not end the race under green. as Callum Ilott decided he was going to be smacking the wall on that 262, which ended the race. Said about stage racing, kept it make it about 4-stopper for everybody.
I thought we kept it. I thought that we restarted after Callum's crash because he got back to pit lane. He was dragging his rear wing behind him, but he got back to pit lane.
Maybe not green.
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. 265. So we had a 10-lap run at the end. Duh. Sorry. Yeah, it's only 3-lap caution.
I would say he smacked, but it wasn't bad. Well, it ended his race, but
yeah. Overall, good race. Let's get into our predictions for how this race went.
Yeah, I had Joseph Newgarden on the podium. You have anybody on the podium? How did your predictions do for this race?
Pato winning, so I got 1.5 for that.
All right, and then I had a Christian Rasmussen hit the apex, which I think he was sixth, just outside the top 5. Another great day for him. Again, I'm going to say it now. I think he's probably the most aggressive oval racer in IndyCar.
It's a miracle he hasn't had a big one. He basically, the commentators and multiple engineers are basically being like, Rasmussen will do.
Yeah.
Just throwing stupid moves. But
ultimately, he's been doing it cleanly enough. He's been right on that line. Where he hasn't crashed a driver, but he's definitely made them scared that they were going to crash.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, I mean, hell, throw Christian Rasmussen in a cup car, dude. He'd do great at Daytona.
Probably would.
Anything else from race 1 hit for you?
Nope.
Just the Pato win. Wild that it's the Pato win that was able to hit. That's kind of out of a field prediction.
I had a feeling. About it. Yeah.
You had a feeling. Race 2. Race 2 unfortunately started with a call to Ryan while he was out running errands, telling him to...
Let me just set the picture for you. Okay? I was trying to watch IMSA, and there was some complications with the VP Sports Car Challenge, and IMSA was very clear about what was going on, and finally, when I found out it was being rescheduled later than canceled, I was like, oh, I can run my errands before the IndyCar race. So I ran a couple errands. Got delayed, but the timing was going to be perfect. I was going to the checkout line, getting ready to check out. Was going to be in my car. Was going to miss a lap or two, maybe 10. I'm then called and informed that someone who does not deserve a seat in IndyCar, honestly, should just fuck off with motorsports in general. Never had a top 10. Never done anything useful in his life other than bring money to a team. We're on a podcast. I remember what I gotta say. Took out Scott McLaughlin on the first lap. Spun himself into McLaughlin. McLaughlin did everything right. He made the right move. Just got clipped.
He dodged it once, but wasn't able to dodge the rear impact.
Yeah. Scott honestly should have beat his ass. He should have stood outside the care center, waited for him to get out, and send his ass right back in. I mean,
that's why you gotta drive through, Dev. That's why you gotta drive through.
I mean, I just don't understand. I love IndyCar, and it's all motorsports, but people like Devlin DeFrancesco just don't deserve to be in this sport. He's talentless, and a bum. And from reputable sources, is a horrible human being, and I'm willing to say that out loud. So fuck you, Devlin. Eat shit, die. I'm a little hurt by this if you can't tell.
He's not handling it well, chat.
Scott McLaughlin did the same thing. He spun himself out. I shouldn't be so hard, but
whatever. Don't worry, they had the low lights queued up for Scotty Mac.
I still just want to say, why does Devlin DeFrancesco get scored in front of Scott McLaughlin for the race? Why? You crashed him.
Because he DNF. Did he DNF in front of Scott?
Yeah, must have. Scott must have not rolled as far. But that was the start to the race. I obviously was immediately upset. Was lashing out by making fun of Colton Herta, as you do.
Bro, he was lashing out a lot.
I was an upset man. I'm
He
still upset
luckily was
about it.
only lashing out in Discord and not in the group chat filled with Andretti fans.
Yeah, I had to keep that to myself. I like Andretti. Like this is a known fact. I do like Andretti. Um, outside of Scott McLaughlin, I'd say I'm an Andretti fan. Like it's pretty
Yeah,
clear I have
I
Andretti
mean
merch.
this was the picture of the weekend. Oh no, you can't see it.
It's the smiling friends guy who wants to kill himself and they have to
Yeah,
stop him from killing himself. We just kept saying it whenever bad stuff happened. But yeah, I guess let's get into how the actual race ended, and we'll go over what happened during the race.
yeah, we had cautions about every 50 laps or so. It felt.
Yeah, also another five caution race. So basically about the same spread, that same thing. Alex Palou gets the win. Alex Palou is Alex Palou. Scott Dixon second, Marcus Armstrong third,
What's
David Lucas fourth,
absolutely
Pato
wild,
Ward fifth.
I think what's absolutely wild in this race, every single time Joseph Newgarden pitted at the end of the race under green, and Andretti would blow a front right tire and hit the wall.
He drove back from it once, and then it happened again. I mean, good lord,
He
like
pitted, and then 2 laps later, Colton Herta blew a front right and hit the wall.
it's hard to feel bad for Joseph Newgarden, but I did genuinely feel so bad because that shit's
Yeah,
not fair. It was brutal. Andretti had something wrong with the setup or something where their front rights
probably
were just
running too high of
up.
tire pressures, and then
Shocked they didn't
as the
adjust.
temperatures came up, it just they didn't. I'm wondering if maybe the track temp was higher than they were thinking, and that caused the tire pressures to go up more than they were expecting, and then just
Yeah, I don't
because they
know.
had front right issues. I actually don't think Andretti had any. I know Rasmussen had a huge wreck in testing because of a front right blowout. There were a lot of front right blowouts in the Iowa test.
Yeah, so
Um,
people figure out did
Firestone
not.
brought a new compound for the front right, but
Yeah, it
Andretti just
wasn't
had
enough.
something wrong with it.
Yeah, and it was just an Andretti issue, so it's clearly something with their setup or their
Yeah.
design. But yeah, chaotic race. Just caution, just who ended up on the right sequence of when they stopped and get fuel, and that ended up being Alex Blow. Scott Dixon second, never doubt Scott Dixon. Marcus Armstrong podium, beautiful.
Yeah.
Great race from him. I mean, there's so many people that could have done great in this race. Connor Daly was looking great in both races.
I mean, for who were the three behind Joseph Newgarden?
Jacob Abel, Renus VK, Kiffin Simpson.
Okay, then I completely misread that. Who were the three that were on the same strategy?
I think it was Schwartzman, Rasmussen, Rosenquist.
Okay, I think Daly was on that strategy too.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know that last stint, Joseph Newgarden was also having issues with his car and he fell drastically.
Oh, because I know like Newgarden came in and then a bunch of people just followed Newgarden because they figured, why not? He's the leader. Like,
yeah,
I know Daly followed him in, and then that just ended up being the wrong call.
yeah. But let's go over the cautions real quick, and then we'll go over predictions, how they did.
Lap
Obviously,
one was obviously.
I don't need to talk about that again.
Yep.
I've went on a crazy tangent.
Was the next one Stingray?
Stingray. I want to say this right now. Sending all my support, thoughts and prayers to the JHR number 77 hauler. They had a tire blowout, and their hauler caught on fire on the way home from Iowa after wrecking the car. They're taking it back to the factory and they're going to assess and see. Always possibility they can't race this weekend because they might have burned and lost the car. That sucks. No one wants to see that. I rag on Stingray Rob, but that stinks.
Hopefully they had a backup in Connor's trailer that they can
Hopefully
maybe
the damage
use.
isn't too bad. I don't know.
They have a backup that they can take somehow up to Toronto.
We'll see. I mean, who knows? Also, we don't know if the car's full loss. They don't know yet. They're going to get back. So prayers up for them. That's always tough.
They got to get the Stingray Rob livery on there.
Stingray hit the wall on that 50. Pretty hard. There was a decently length caution, 14 laps.
Yeah, he did not look good when he was in the car.
No, that was not fun. Glad he's okay. Then we had, unfortunately, the inevitable Andretti tire kablooey.
That one was Ericsson.
Yeah, Ericsson first, blew her tire up. Then we had Callum Ilott again in the wall. Tough. And then finally, last but not least, very sad, we had the final Andretti decided it is my time, my child. I will be hitting the wall.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
Kyle
considering
Kirkwood smacked the wall. Or wait, no, was it
Ryan saw two of his favorite drivers
Colton
crashed
Herta?
out
Colton
in
Herta
the
hit the wall.
same race. Saw Scotty Mack at the beginning of the race and Colton at the end of the race.
I like Colton. I won't even argue that fact.
Yeah.
It was a tough day for me. I like Colton. I mean, like there was one of my core memory in my life is it wasn't exclusively my driver, but getting to be with Patrick as we watched Colton Herta win Nashville. That was
surrounded by Pato fans.
Oh, in the trenches. And I was just like, I'm here. I was wearing my Andretti sunglasses. I was in it. I like Colton Herta, but yeah, so unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall just rough weekend from Andretti. Hopefully they figure something out. But yeah, overall good race. Iowa delivered. I think mainly because of the the cautions making it a 4-stop, and also the fact that they were very diligent almost every caution about sweeping that top line.
Oh.
I don't know if it was enough to keep it. Attendance numbers were atrocious. About 6,000.
I don't think those races coming back next year.
Yeah, but what sucks, because the reason the race was so sold poorly this year is because it was bad last year. Meaning, in theory, it could sell good next year because it was good this year. But
I don't know. There are people that have been going to Iowa for a while that are saying this is kind of just normal attendance for Iowa. So the past 3 years have looked a lot higher because it's been the Hy-Vee sponsorship, and they brought in like concerts and everything like that.
Yeah, the concerts would push those numbers up.
I feel like it was kind of the same thing in Nashville last year. Hopefully we still have that kind of good attendance, even though Scott Borchetta's not promoting it, but I think he's still the title sponsor, so like I feel like he's still going to be doing stuff for Scott Borchetta. Shout out Scott Borchetta for being a huge fan of racing. He's got the big machine car, sometimes in Cup, almost always. I mean, there's just straight up big machine racing in Xfinity. And then he's done a lot to promote the Nashville race. So I think that Iowa can maybe learn, but there's really not a good population draw. But NASCAR doesn't have a problem selling it out either. So
we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, I mean, overall, rough, but on the attendance. But great race. I loved enjoying them. I enjoyed both of them thoroughly.
I think old Iowa's back.
I mean, it's just you got to have that. You got to have those cautions,
yeah,
and you got to have them being able to sweep the top line.
Yeah, and I mean, you can have a race that has poor TV numbers but sell out attendance, but you can't really have a race that has good TV numbers and no attendance.
Yeah,
especially the way IndyCar's revenue deal works.
Yeah. But let's get into our predictions. How did you do for race two?
Race two, I got a solid 2.5 points. Brought that up 1.5 because I actually forgot that Alex Palou won the race. So I did get a 1.5 for him winning the race. I had Alex Palou winning, and then I had Marcus Ericsson missing the apex, and obviously he hit the wall after a tire failure.
Yep, that will do it. I had Alex Palou just on the podium. I had him coming second. And I had Marcus Armstrong hitting the apex, and he got a podium. So, yeah, that's a banger. 2 points there.
I think two drivers, it's just inevitable until they get. Actually, does Marcus Armstrong have a win? No, I think he just has a podium. He didn't get a win with Chip Ganassi. I think it was just a podium.
Yeah.
I think Marcus Armstrong and David Malukas. It's just an amount of time until they get the win. David was the other driver that just followed Joseph into the pits because he was in P2 at the time.
Yes.
And he just followed Joseph into the pits, and that ended up not being the right call.
Yeah. And finally, even though we kind of did this backwards order, IndyNXT was first race of the weekend, and Apparently, we need to talk shit about Myles Rowe because Myles Rowe, who we like, even though we said some stuff about him last weekend about his composure,
Deservedly. He
valid,
deserved it.
valid criticism. That doesn't mean I don't like him as a guy. I don't like him as a
Yeah.
driver. I, half awake, laying in my bed, got to watch Myles Rowe win the Iowa race. Made a decisive pass on Dennis Hauger to get the win. Salvador de Alba came in third, Cal Collette fourth, and Niels Coolin came in fifth to round out your top five.
Which Fox? We need to talk. Ryan was talking about, oh, do you want me to spoil the IndyNXT race? As I just got back from an hour and a half motorcycle ride, and I'm looking at a marketing email on my phone saying that the IndyNXT race is at 1:30 in the afternoon. This was at like 12:30 in the afternoon. You have to send out updated stuff when you change the time of a race. I don't know if they release the TV numbers for IndyNXT. It's going to be like 5,000 people.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I was genuinely confused because I was looking at my racing lineup, and I think it was supposed to be qualifying or like I don't know. And whatever it was supposed to be, I just looked on the TV and I saw that it said the race, and I turned it on, and they were getting ready. I'm like, what? I didn't even know what was going on until I found on Twitter schedule. That tornado obviously messed things up, a nightmare, but they got to be better about.
Shout out to the most Midwestern series ever, too. Tornado sirens are going off, and we're teaching these guys coming from overseas, nah, when that siren goes off, you don't get to shelter. You go out and look at the tornado.
Go have yourself a look. Great photos coming out, as I'm sure anyone who's an IndyCar fan has seen. But yeah, I got none of my predictions right, so I don't need to say anything. How about you?
I did very well in IndyNXT. I did not get the winner correct. I had Lockheed Hughes winning, because oval. But I did have Myles Rowe hitting the apex, and I would say getting your first IndyNXT win, the first IndyNXT win by a African American driver as well.
Awesome.
I had Myles Rowe hitting the apex, and then I had Jack William Miller missing the apex. And he did not have what would be considered a good race.
Yeah, pretty good race. I ain't gonna lie, I was like half asleep during this race. I was kind of bobbing up and down, but it was a good race.
They were able to make the side-by-side work.
As soon as I saw that, I had hope for the cup race. Good Lord. The IndyCar race, the NTT race.
Yeah.
And I was right. I would like to say I never doubted you, Iowa.
I was a strong Iowa hater. Although, look, I'm not saying you need to be like me, but if you're going to shit talk a race and say it's going to be horrible, still tune into it because it might end up being a banger. I was convinced this was going to be a fuel save race, which it was going to be until the cautions fell perfectly to make fuel mileage not a factor.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like I said, you always. I watch races I hate all the time, or I think I'm going to hate because I'll never truly hate racing. You half watch F1. I want to hear it. No, I'm just kidding. You watch F1. But yeah, I think that sums up Iowa. A good weekend. I think they could, if they go back, they should adjust the start times. Ridiculous that we're starting at 1:30 on Sunday.
11:30 local.
Yeah, wow.
Did you hear? Evidently, Fox broadcast was talking a little bit about possible night races.
Really? I did not hear that.
The only oval coming up is Nashville now, right? No, Milwaukee. But Milwaukee doesn't have lights, I don't think.
Ooh,
Milwaukee would be a banger night race.
Yeah.
I think Nashville should be under the lights, though.
The championship under the lights just makes sense.
Yeah. And it's a holiday. And, look, this works perfectly. It's better than Gateway under the lights because it's on a holiday weekend. So people don't have to work on Monday, so people will tune in for an 8 o'clock race. People will show up to the track for an 8 o'clock race because they don't have to work the next day. People will show up for it.
I look up, does the Milwaukee Mile, and the first thing that comes up is have lights. They do not have permanent lights, but they have brought in temporary lights for races.
So they could do what Indy did last year for the 8 hour. And bring in temporary lights. Okay.
So who knows? But it would be cool to see that.
I don't think you're getting the attendance numbers in Milwaukee for a night race. I think Nashville's the answer for great attendance. And I think Nashville's an SMI track, so they're having to rent the track. So they don't have to pay any royalties, I don't think, to Nashville. So this is a full Roger Penske deal, I think. So I could see him willing to take a shot on maybe trying to get primetime because they're getting all the ticket sales and they're getting all of the TV money. And I think being a holiday weekend races can be hard. But IndyCar shows Mid Ohio July 4th race is always great.
Possible. Yeah.
Maybe not the best TV numbers, but I mean, it was damn near sold out this year.
Yeah, it was packed.
It was packed.
Way busier than last year. But yeah,
I wouldn't say way busier, but pretty.
It was definitely
good chunk busier.
I feel like it was significantly busier than last year.
But we were in grandstands last year, so we didn't.
I remember what the lawn. I remember what the lawn looked like, and I remember what the autograph lines looked like on Saturday.
Oh, the autograph lines were wild. The autograph lines were on the autograph session was on a Friday this year too.
Was it? That was Saturday.
It was on Friday.
Oh,
because remember we got up there on Thursday, so our whole weekend felt off.
My whole day's all messed up. But yeah, overall good weekend. I would like to see National Night Race, but let's get into our predictions for Toronto because it is 10:50 and I am tired.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Toronto.
For the record, Patrick tried telling me this would be a fast episode. Come on, we got to get into it on IndyCar. We'll never be quick with this shit.
USF is running in Toronto. I feel like there was another series running in Toronto, but I could be wrong. Nope, USF 2000 is running in Toronto. No IndyNXT in Toronto this week. They will be back next week for Laguna Seca. I will be shit talking Myles Rowe on that show, so that hopefully we can manifest another win for him. Ryan, who you got? Who's your podium?
My podium, Alex Palou. It's Alex Palou. Second, I got Lundgaard. I think he's going to have a result. And third, Award. I think McLaren's going to have a surge. I think McLaren's going to have themselves a surge on the later half of the season. And we are getting to the end of the season, which is sad, I must say. Yeah. I'm sad.
Too short of a season.
It always, I literally feel like it should be the midway point, and we're way past that. What about you?
Look, it's a street course. I have Kyle Kirkwood winning. Look, every IndyCar race should be a street race in his completely unbiased opinion. Alex Palou in P2. He's going to be up there competing with Kyle. I think it's going to be a banger race on the streets of Toronto. And then P3, you can never count out Scott Dixon.
Real. I'm going to lie. I was doing Miss the Apex, and I typed Scott Dixon. I went, oh, you can never count out Scott Dixon. I deleted it and changed it to something else that you'll love. All
right.
Speaking of that, who's your Hit the Apex, Pat?
He got all of his bad luck out of the way this week. I have Stingray Rob hitting the apex. I'm saying it's the same, missing the apex. I have Stingray Rob hitting the apex this week.
Just for logistical sake, can you make a second prediction in case they cannot race?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm trying to help you here, brother.
Andretti does well on street circuits, so I am going to go Marcus Ericsson turning around this week as my second pick.
I like that. I got excited for a second. You said turning around is bad luck. I have someone turning around their bad luck. I didn't put him on the podium. Clearly, my faith has faltered. But Scotty Mac's gotta have a good race. He has got to have a good race this weekend. I beg.
Yeah, if Scotty Mac doesn't have a good race, don't worry. I'll go over to Ryan's and spend the week there just to make sure he's on a watch of sorts.
I'm so busy. Like I actually cannot afford to die. So there's bills to pay, unfortunately.
Who's your Miss the Apex this week?
I'm sorry, Patrick, but I've been a curse. My Miss the Apex have been usually doing good. So if you think about it, I'm actually doing you a favor here. I got Colton Herta missing the Apex.
Damn.
And I think he's quite literally gonna miss an Apex.
Yeah, I could see that. I think I that happened at Detroit last year.
If he doesn't
Um,
do that, his pit crew will do it for him. It's classic.
can we
Colton
call it
Herta.
a Colton Herta miss the apex if it's his pit crew doing it for him?
Yes, yes, we can. We sure
Um,
can.
look, I feel bad about my pick too. I've got David Malukas.
Oh, okay.
Um, look, it's no secret Ferrucci's kind of been doing better on the road course or on the street courses than Malukas has. I
Yeah.
think he's just kind of been struggling with getting a setup that he likes in the street course package for that car. Um, I don't think Foyt's going to solve it this weekend. Obviously, he has a oval package that he loves in that car, but just can't
Oh
seem to
yeah.
get a street course package. Probably the dampers just suck.
Did you see Marco Andretti like going in on Santino Ferrucci on Instagram?
No,
He basically was like the driving standards are so terrible and it's just always the same person. It was a picture of Santino Ferrucci racing.
I'm a Marco Andretti fan now. I was happy when he almost got bumped from the field just because I thought it would be funny. But now I'm a Marco Andretti fan.
Beautiful. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. And the last thing we have, which we'll touch on real quick, here's some context. Nolan Siegel obviously didn't clear medical for race 2, and McLaren confusingly didn't get a reserve driver. They were given the opportunity to give them the warm-up session they would need. They declined that, and then the next morning tried to
Start in park, TK.
have TK start in park, but since he had declined the warm-up session, they couldn't do that.
We
But
saw the
now,
same thing in, was it Iowa last year where Daly filled in for the first time for JHR? He filled in for a driver at Iowa, I think, and I think he had to do a special session because it was after
yeah, it's a 15-minute warm-up
qualifying.
that IndyCar offers. But obviously TK can start park. Confusing me why they didn't do that. But they did make the right decision now and have announced that Linus Lundqvist is going to be a reserve driver if Nolan Siegel cannot clear medical on Thursday. So we'll know on Thursday. But the question we are posing is,
I just real
do
quick,
we
I think
think
it's
we'll see?
wild that you're not sure your driver's going to be able to make the race and you decline the warm up session when you have Linus Lundqvist literally at the track.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Like, just take it and then don't put him in the car if you don't have to.
Yeah, just interesting. I'm sure there's factors at play that we don't know.
Or it's TK just not wanting to fire his special child
Yeah, I
that
don't
he
know.
fired 4 people to get him to.
Yeah, I don't know. But will we see Linus in the McLaren in Toronto, Patrick?
Look, if there's a god, he's going to take Nolan Siegel out of the car so we can see Linus Lundqvist race this weekend.
As much as I want to see Linus in, I do feel for Nolan. That's a scary injury. Concussions
Yeah.
not be messed about. And but I think he'll be okay. As a man who's had his head concussed, you be alright. Get in the car race, it'll be good.
Yeah, but you didn't get yours smacked against a metal pole on the soccer field.
Not that badass, apparently. I think no one will pass. I am glad that they selected Linus Lundqvist. I would love to see him in the car. Like, absolutely, I want to see him in the car. I wish he would. But also, I do feel kind of dirty wishing for someone to be in a car at the cost of someone else being injured with a brain injury, which is not fun. So I hope Nolan's okay and he can race because that means he's recovered. And
I
that's
hope
my
Nolan's okay, but not like fully recovered. That's what I say when I want Linus in the car. And that's not even from my hate of Nolan, which it's no secret I'm not a fan of Nolan Siegel. I
That's
don't
for
think
your
he did.
love of Linus.
Yeah, that's my love of Linus and the fact that Nolan
He deserves
Siegel
a
is
chance.
Nolan Siegel, Devlin DeFrancesco, Graham Rahal, anyone else I want to name real quick? Santino Ferrucci. He's getting good enough results to pass for now. Stingray Robb. Any other drivers we want to throw on that list? Who am I forgetting?
He said some rude things about Devlin. I'm just gonna chill.
They're in a car, and Linus Lundqvist and Teo Porcher are not.
Criminal, absolutely criminal. But yeah,
Like, Teo really needs to race the legendary Laguna Seca after Tony Kanaan took away that chance from him last year.
real.
He was hyping up Laguna Seca, one of my favorite tracks. I'm automatically a Teddy Pork Chops fan.
And then gets yoinked from the car. Brutal. But yeah, excited for Toronto. Excited for Laguna after that. NASCAR's racing this week. GT World Challenge racing this weekend. TC America, a bunch of good racing.
At a
We're
bunch of great
excited.
tracks.
Yeah,
We're
it's gonna be a
back
good
on
weekend.
ovals for NASCAR. It's not going to be an SVG win.
No more SVG win, but it should be fun. I like Dover. So
Yep. All right, everyone. Have a good one.
peace.
Peace.